Helo a chroeso I Stadiwm y Principality lle mae Rowndiau Terfynol Cenedlaethol Menywod ar fin cychwyn. Mae yna 2 gêm gyda 6 tîm sydd wedi teithio o bob gornel y gwlad yn y gobaith o ennill y trysau anhygoel yma. Dyma beth sydd I ddod dros y oriau nesaf. Ffynnon Taf sef Taff yn gwneud y taith byr I lawr yr S4C I Gaerdydd, a mae tîm menywod Senghennydd yn chwarae yn y Rowndiau Terfynol am y tro cyntaf erioed. Y gêm hon yn cychwyn am 1 o'r gloch. Collodd blaen dilais sef Seven Sisters y cwpan llynedd. Heddiw, maen nhw'n nôl ac am ennill y plat. Clwb rygbi Cymru Caerdydd yn nillodd y Bowlen llynedd, felly 2 dîm sy'n gyfarwydd iawn a diwrnod enfawr fel hon. Tîm arall sy'n nabod y lle yma'n eitha da yw Bonamain, ond nhw'n ennill y plat llynedd, ond a bydd y menywod o Abertawe yn dathlu unwaith eto eleni. Ei gwrthwynebwyr yw Port Tywyn, sef Bury Port, yn chwarae yn y Rowndiau Terfynol am y tro cyntaf ers 3 blynedd. Reit, syl y mamau hapus I chi gyd am ddiwrnod sydd o'n blaen ni heddi, a dwi mewn cwmni anhygoel yn y studio. 2 cyn chwaraewr Cymru wrth gwrs, Cerys Cwmin a Dyddgu Morgan Howell. Cyn brop a cyn gefnwr. Reit te, Cerys yn gynta, diwrnod pwysig iawn heddiw mae I pawb sy'n cystadlu.
Ie, mae'n achlysur arbennig a fi'n siŵr o fod mae'n menywod yn edrych mlaen I chwarae ar y cae yma. Fi'n credu mae'r 2 tîm wedi cael tymor eitha tough ynglyn â pethau gwahanol sydd wedi bod ymlaen I ffwrdd o'r cae, felly fi'n siŵr gorffen y tymor ar y cae yma yn achlysur arbennig. Ie,
ac oedd achlysur arbennig ddwy hefyd Dyddgu wrth gwrs Cymru yn herio llwyger yma yn y stadiwm. Dros 20,000 o pobl yn wylio am ddiwrnod.
Oedd ddoe y ddiwrnod hanesyddol ac eitha emosiynol I gyn chwaraewyr fel ni, jyst I weld 20,000 yn y dorf, yr awyrgylch, y fflamau a'r sioe goliadau, mae jyst yn danos lle mae'r gêm wedi cyrraedd erbyn hyn.
Ie, ffantastig. A chi'ch dwy wedi chwarae yma yn amlwg. Sut bydd y chwaraewyr yn teimlo cyn camu mas yn y Stadiwm Genedlaethol?
Ie, siŵr o fod rili nerfus. Fi'n credu fel 2 o'n ni yma yn gwylio a ni'n nerfus, felly fi'n siŵr o fod pan maen nhw'n dod mas fan hyn. Moyn mwynhau beth sy'n mynd mlaen, ond moyn chwarae ei rygbi gorau rili o flaen y dorf.
Ie, a diwrnod special, syl y mamau, ambell fam yn chwarae heddiw hefyd, felly diwrnod I gofio gobeithio.
Diwrnod I gofio wrth gwrs, ond reit at ein gêm gyntaf felly, Senghennydd dyma tro gyntaf nhw yn y Rowndiau Terfynol erioed, ac mae wedi bod yn stori anhygoel a taith anhygoel I cyrraedd y pwynt yma.
Y sefyllfa oedd, wel, y mwyafrif oedd yn ymarfer oedd 8. A dyna nifer o wythnosau ar ddyddiau Sul pan oedd yn edrych yn debygol bydd y tîm y menywod yn gadael y clwb oherwydd doedd dim digon o gyrffi roi tîm mas ar ddydd Sul ac felly oedd angen rhywun I ddod mewn a dweud reit dyma be ni'n neud, dyma sut ni am neud a dyma lle ni am gyrraedd erbyn diwedd y tymor. A bod pawb fel, oh my gosh, na, does dim modd bod ni'n gallu neud hwnna o gwbl a dyma ni. Oedd angen I rhywun I gael y weledigaeth yna, a Joe oedd y berson.
So I was at Pontyclun Falcons for a year and a half. We won the Premiership and we won the Cup at the Principality. Yeah, kind of parted ways on a high. And then my fiancée, she's here. This was the club she picked, and these guys they were in a bit of trouble. So why not? Why not try and make this place a success?
Fix a defender. Yeah, nice use of the ball. Well
Fy man gyntaf fi oedd bod wedi cam ddeall y sefyllfa fan hyn.
Well, one of the biggest surprises, we didn't have a front row. So the first half of last season, we played games against teams with 14 players, which, yeah, we competed pretty well, but pretty tough to get the outcome you want with 14 players on the pitch for that period of time.
Yn amlwg, mae hwnna di newid erbyn hyn. Felly oedd yn anhygoel I weld dydd Sul yn mynd o 8 o fenywod I 34 mewn 1 blwyddyn, a sa'n meddwl bod yna tîm arall yng Nghymru sy'n medru wneud hwnna, yn ymwedig yn y sector menywod.
Right, girls, in we come.
It's pretty amazing to think that probably 18 months ago, yeah, they weren't a million miles away from not having a women's team to now being on the verge of fielding 2.
We set ourselves targets at the beginning of this season and we're smashing them, but I really do think that we can do a lot more.
Dyma'r tro cyntaf i'n menywod cyrraedd y Rowndiau Terfynol yn y stadiwm, felly mae'n gyffrous iawn bod ni wedi cyrraedd y rownd yna. Sa'n siŵr pwy penderfynol fi roi Rowndiau Terfynol menywod ar Sul y mamau.
What a way to spend my first Mother's Day with my little boy.
Mae'n gallu bod yn ddarlliad enfawr o fod yn fenyw yn rygbi.
It's going to be emotional, it's going to be a huge feeling of pride, it's going to be massive.
1, 2, 3!
Siren!
That's what we've done!
Ie, dyna ni, Joe Howard fyna'n siarad ac yn ysbrydoli ei tîm ar hyn o bryd. Reit te, am stori Cerys ac am dymor mae'r tîm wedi cael ar brig y gyngrair gyda rediad anhygoel eleni.
Ie, mae'n hyfryd gweld y stori na, bod nhw'n dechrau tymor yn ffili rhoi mas tîm llawn ac yna erbyn diwedd y tymor, fi'n gwybod bod nhw wedi gwneud prep am y gêm yma, trwy chwarae gêm yn erbyn ei gilydd. Felly mae'n anhygoel a fi'n credu mae'n gwych i gweld bod nhw wedi tyfu cymaint a wedyn yn y Rowndiau di ennill a maen nhw heb colli, felly fi'n siŵr fod maen nhw'n gobeithio nhw ddim colli heddiw.
Ie, ffantastig. Ond beth am ni edrych am cwbl o chwaraewyr Senghennydd felly. Dydgu Courtney Greenway, mae hi'n syrenu i gwely y Lightning yn y her Celtiaid eleni. Mae hi'n chwarae ar yr asgell fel arfer, ond mae hi'n chwarae maswr heddiw.
Ie, mae hwnna'n dipyn o naid, ond mae'n danos i gallu hi bod hi'n gallu chwarae yn y triol a hefyd yn gwisgo'r rhif 10 heddiw. Mae eisiau gwylio allan am y chwaraewr yma wedi sgorio dros 20 cais yn y tymor. Ond ti hefyd wedi hyfforddi hi, Cerys?
Ie, siŵr o fod mae Joe di roi hi yn 10, felly mae hi'n cael y bel yn ei ddwylo, achos mae hi'n mor dangerus pan mae hi'n cael bach o lle, mae traed hi'n anhygoel a mae hi'n chwaraewr fi'n credu fydd yn rili wneud gwahaniaeth i nhw heddiw.
Ie, chwarae teg, pa mor dylentog yw i gallu chwarae dau safle gwbl gwahanol chwarae teg, ond yn mynd at y pac, Cerys, mae rhaid i ni sôn am Leanne Fletcher, blaen asgellwr hynod o ddinistriol.
Ie, fi wedi chwarae gyda Leanne o blaen a mae hi'n rhywun sydd yn gweithio mor galed, os mae angen rhywun i treso rhyw sefyllfa, hi yw'r ferch i mynd ati a mae hi'n rhywun sydd yn rili dda yn ardal y dacl, felly siŵr o fod bydd ni'n gweld hi dros y bil heddiw.
Edrych ymlaen i gweld hwnna, ond mae llwyth o brofiad a Senghennydd dydgu 4 chwaraewr sydd wedi chwarae dros Cymru.
Ie, am lwcus cael y profiad yna, mae yna gymysgedd o chwaraewyr undeb a lig hefyd. Mae gennych chi Rhian Bowden, dros 40 cap i Gymru. Mae hi'n cael ei nabod fel Indian y tîm.
Ie, Joanne Maguire, mae hi wedi chwarae lig, 5 cap a lig, a Sarah Harper sydd wedi chwarae am tîm Byddar Cymru.
A mae Cerys a Ffynnon wedi chwarae hefo Raffiq Taylor hefyd.
Ie, gwych, ond na ddigon am Senghennydd nawr, beth na'n ni sôn am Ffynnon Taf, ac ymuno da fi yw Craig Fields, hyfforddwr. Craig, diolch yn fawr am dod draws ni heddiw. Sut mae'r nerfau yn gyntaf oll?
Dwi'n nerfus iawn, dwi ddim yn mynd i'n chwarae, ond hyderus ar yr un pryd. Mae'r merched wedi bod yn gweithio'n galed yn yr wythnosau diwetha, felly, hyderus iawn.
Gwych, hyderus, ffantastig, ond mae wedi bod yn gyfnod anodd i chi fel tîm off y cae gyda yn anffodus 2 aelod o'r tîm hyfforddi yn colli eu bywydau. Beth mae'r achlysur, ydy yna chwnegu'r achlysur i ti? Mae
e, oherwydd mae wedi bod yn cwbl o misoedd galed iawn, gyda colled Denver a Gemma. Mae e wedi bod yn galed, ac teulu nhw hefyd yn chwarae. Wraig Gemma a merch Denver hefyd, felly mae e wedi bod yn galed, ond mae e wedi adio rhywbeth i beth nhw'n dod i'r gêm, felly, yes, da fi'n dweud, hyderus iawn. Fi'n edrych mlaen i weld chi'n mynd heddiw bwy, ond beth yw'r cynllun yn erbyn tîm mor gryf a Senghennydd? Ti'n cael dweud? Ie, fi'n gallu. Mae nhw'n gryf iawn, ond mae gyda ni lot i adio'r i'r gêm. Ni ddim wedi chwarae gyda'n gilydd, yn erbyn yn gilydd ni am cwpl o blynyddoedd, felly bydd yn neis i edrych i gweld beth byddwn ni'n dod i'r gêm heddiw. Ffantastig, Craig, diolch. Diolch yn fawr. Ti bwy, pob lwc. Reit, diolch bwy. Reit te, ni aros gyda Ffynnon Taf a sôn am cwpl o'r chwaraewyr. Hefyd, maen nhw gyda chwaraewyr anhygoel hefyd. Mae wedi dechrau gyda ti, Cerys, Sharon McDonald, yn ei thymor olaf i Ffynnon Taf ar hyn o bryd. Mae hi'n 100 mlwydd oed o chwarae yn y ail rhwng. Anhygoel. Ie,
fi'n meddwl chwarae teg i fi, achos oedd hi wedi chwarae gêm gyntaf rygbi hi cyn i fi dienni, a fi yn barod i ymddeol, felly mae hi bach o legend a i gorffen chwarae ar y cae yma yn yr achlysur yma, fi'n gobeithio mae hi'n cael diwrnod arbennig.
Ie, am credyd i'r gêm chwarae teg. A dydgu yn yr olwyr, pwy dylswn ni edrych mas amdano?
Ie, mae gennych chi Amy Clayton ar yr asgell. Mae eisiau gwylio allan am y chwaraewraig yma. Mae'n gyflym, mae gen i draed bach da, felly dwi'n disgwyl gweld hi yn cael cyfle a gwagle ar yr asgell heddiw.
Gwych, reit menywod. Pen ar y bloc, pwy sy'n mynd â hi heddi? Yn y gêm gyntaf ni.
Dwi'n credu bydd Senghennydd yn ennill. Maen nhw wedi cael tymor ardderchog, ond dwi'n really credu bydd Ffynnon Taf yn cael diwrnod i gofio a really wneud gwahaniaeth ar ôl nhw cael amser mor galed.
Dydgu, beth ti'n meddwl?
Ie, dwi'n cytuno Senghennydd. Dwi'n meddwl fydd y profiad yna yn y garfan yn helpu nhw heddiw.
Ie, a mae'n greit i weld gymaint o bobl yma yn y stadiwm heddi. Mae'n amlwg yn achlysus mawr iawn.
Ydy, mae'n gret, a dwi'n gweld mae yna faneri bob man, mae yna faneri Rowndiau Bowlen yma, mae yna faneri Sul yma, mae'n hapus, felly diwrnod special iawn i rygbi merched.
Ie, mae yna llwyth o egni fan hyn, fi'n clywed llwyth, fi ddim yn clywed ti yn dda, achos mae'r dorf yn uchel, felly bydd e'n achlysur arbennig.
Mae fe yn achlysur arbennig. Reit te, amser ni i ymuno a'n tîmau sylwebu nawr. English language commentary is available on all 3 matches today. First up with Cerys Cumin and Griff McKee, ac yn y Gymraeg, Dyfgu Morgan Howell sy'n ymuno ag Owain Gwynedd. Joia.
Thank you, Lloyd. Yes, welcome to the Principality for the first game of 3 today, starting off with the bowl. Game between Senghennydd Sirens and Taff's Well. Certainly going to be a great game and a great watch for everyone today. All 3 games has got us very excited. So let's start off with Taff's Well's team. A bit of unfamiliar numbers to say the least. However, in the front row, Jamie Lee Knight and Kaylee Cushing, along with Taryn Hurley. Keep an eye out on those 3. They are certainly going to pack a punch today. Stacey Wright is in the flank. Used to play for Wales Rugby League and is capped there. Louise Shannon and Jade Edwards combined in the 9 and 10. And Kirsten Field in the back as the full-back, has played in Argentina for the Wales Deaf Sevens. She will have an influence today. And Senghennydd, of course, they've got plenty of powerful and a lot of experience across their whole team. Rhwng Bowden, to say the least, and Sarah Harper, they were highlighted earlier, along with Courtney Greenway in the 10. However, keep an eye out on Imogen Scheid in the centre. She has experience playing for Wales under-18s and 20. And Holly Dempsey in the number 8 jersey has over 100 appearances for the club. Almost time to go here as we see the light show take place in the Principality Stadium, following an epic occasion yesterday between Wales women and England, breaking the record for attendance in a Wales women's sporting event in Wales, with over 21,000 here today. These women will take to the field, as did the international team yesterday. Huge occasion for both sides. And firstly, laying shirts to commemorate 2 great servants for Taff's Well. A great gesture to remember Gemma Williams and Denver Knight. As the shirt is being presented, we can see emotions are high for Taff's Well. It's a big day, it's an important day, and certainly a day that both teams are going to be desperate to finish on the winning side. Taff's Well headed out first, Senghennydd tightly behind them, led by Rafiq Taylor. As we see a few players making the most of this moment. Senghennydd in the blue, Taff's Well in the red, attacking from left to right across the screen. A few final words being said by both sides before they get into this game. A huge game for both teams. Senghennydd RFC unbeaten this season. They've had an extraordinary year, to say the least. And they will be desperate to cap off what's been a historic season for them with the trophy at the end of the day. Jenny Davis in the middle will be heading this game, trying to keep control of the incidents. However, ready to go is Louise Shanahan with the ball in hand, playing in the scrum half position, wearing number 17. Here we go then, the bowl final between Senghennydd and Taff's Well, and the game is underway. The ball's bobbled off over the far touchline. We'll see a throw for Taff's well, in fact. It did take a touch off of one of the Senghennydd players. Senghennydd, as mentioned, going the season so far without losing a game.
Okay, no advantage. We had a knock on by Reds and we had a knock on by Blue.
On.
So we're
Paul
back here, scrum.
Davis, the referee.
Oh, really? You can call me Sue.
There will be a Senghennydd feed into this
knock
scrum.
Knock on by Red, knock on by Blue. It's on the 15. Okay, I want a pretty picture, ladies.
Glorious sun here at the Principality.
Okay, I'll set this and then I'll set that.
Might make things hard for the players down there. Might be particularly bright in that sunshine for this first game.
Bind! Set!
As they set the scrum ready to go, peeling off. Holly Dempsey, goodbye, she says, as she bats off Danny Stokes effectively. And we see the might of Senghennydd early doors there. Another challenge in the line out, stolen by Senghennydd. Here comes the ball, Greenway passes it out to Shai, kick downfield, trying to make the most of the open space. Kirsten Field trying to find a gap in the Senghennydd defence. And the penalty to Taffswell, a quick tap and we're off. Jade Edwards taking the ball to the line, looking for support. And another penalty here for Taffswell.
That's 2 now, ref.
And it looks like they're aiming towards the corner here. And a good kick into the 22 as we see the coaches for Senghennydd not best pleased with how his team has started, and they are on the back foot and they are in their 22. They will need to put in a defensive shift here. The line out for Taffswell, going to the front once more, bobbles out, bobbles to Senghennydd. And Greenway boots a ball. Off they go downfield. Kirsten Field takes it with bags of sevens experience. This is what we can expect from the fullback. Just over this near touchline. Throw to Senghennydd. But a quick flash of what Kirsten Field has to offer.
9, are you in? 9, are you in? 9. Get in closer, please.
The ball back on Senghennydd side. Courtney Greenway, this is what we can expect from the tricky 10. The ball is out to Rafiki Taylor. Plenty of gas and lovely step. And she's going to go all the way here. Although I'm saying that Kirsten Field is doing her very best to get back there. But eventually the defender gives in. Try to Taylor. The skipper for Senghennydd under the sticks in the Principality. And that's how Senghennydd have been going all season. A lovely try, good work from Courtney Greenway, and Taylor has the gas in the end to get under the posts. And Keris Hale is with me. You just about got up here in time to see that try. Thoughts on the try? Unbelievable skill from Greenway, and gives it to Taylor, and just about had enough pace to get there in the end.
Yeah, she doesn't need much space to score, Raf. She's obviously a prolific try scorer. I've played alongside her with Wales as well, so I think we can probably expect to see her on the scoreboard again if she gets a bit of space. And
absolutely, a good conversion. In fact, that was Sarah Harper, the blindside flanker, with the conversion. Not often we see flankers taking kicks in this stadium.
She's very talented as well. You know, she's been around the block for a while, and she is a multi-skilled athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. Sarah Harper was skipper for the Def Sevens when they won in Argentina a couple of years ago. And with that kick, put Senghennydd 7-0 to the good in the first 5 minutes of this game. And here we go again. A bit of open space ahead of Ffynnon Bowlen, I believe, in the pocket. Greenway, good vision. And a chip over the top as it bobbles over. Good work by the fly half, Courtney Greenway, showing her experience. Saw the space, boot to ball, and putting Taff's well on the back foot.
Yeah, and in the run up to that, we saw Sarah Harper, a nice carry and an offload off the floor to Rhwng Bowden. So I think if we could see that kind of rugby, it's the perfect weather for it, and it'd be an entertaining day for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Glorious sunshine here in Cardiff. As we see the Sirens take the ball up to the 22. Arm out by Jenny Davis. There'll be a penalty here.
Not rolling. Jackal, good.
Be interesting to see if they go for the corner or if they go for a quick tap. Greenway takes control.
Yeah, sorry.
Over it goes.
Just take it off my
A line out here for Senghennydd, and after that try they've started to grow into the game. They're looking after the ball and they're going to put some pressure on Taffswell here.
Yeah, they've probably got confident in their line out with Rhwng Bowden being an ex-Welsh international hooker. And I would have thought we would have seen a driving maul, but I can't see a +1 in there, so we'll have to see what comes. Off they go.
They have gone to the driving maul. Penalty regardless against Senghennydd, and relief it will be for Taffswell in their 22. They'll have the opportunity to put the ball downfield, but a missed opportunity, it must be said, for Senghennydd. Yeah,
definitely. And Jade Edwards, who kicked the ball into touch there, is an ex-footballer, so I'm sure that'll be a good gain for them. Senghennydd have to be disciplined in order to keep their field position.
Yeah, 3 penalties given away by Senghennydd so far in this game. You know, especially when you're on the front foot, you don't want to be giving those cheap ones away, especially in the red zone.
No, exactly. You want to be clinical in that 22. I think if they're going to be a team who are scoring multiple tries, they need to really look at that discipline, because we're early on in the game, and I'm sure Jenny Davis will get fed up of it pretty soon.
Who's through in?
Yeah, she'll start. Well, it looks like she's starting to get a little bit frustrated, and she's having a quick word with Ffynnon Bowden. Scrum here, first scrum of the game.
This is where I come into my own.
I was about to say, this is your department.
I do love a scrum. I love a scrum, so I'm interested to see how this one goes.
Yeah, 100%.
We heard a bit in the VT before the game about at the start of the season Senghennydd had to play with 14 players because they couldn't field the front row. So whether these are inexperienced players in the front row, but it's brilliant to see that they've rectified that. And a solid platform as well.
Absolutely. Good scrum from both sides as the ball comes out towards this near side. Beating one-on-one with a full-back. However, it's a good tackle on Imogen Scheid. Cutting back inside, Kaylee Smith this time. The ball is there presented for Skim. And the ball's dropped. However, it is kicked through by Louise Shanahan. Taken well by Ffynnon Bowden, however, will go back. And the handling error just there, letting Senghennydd down once again in the 22. Doesn't quite come to fruition with another try, but we see another glimmer there. Kaylee Smith, sorry, I must say it's Imogen Scheid, played for Wales under 18s and 20s. You know, this Senghennydd team, they're not short of talent.
No, they're not, and it's lovely to see Imogen Scheid in space. I know she's a very aggressive player, and I've seen over the years she's played a bit of flanker as well, because she loves being in contact, but it's really nice to see her in space and avoiding that contact in order to get some go forward. Yeah,
interesting to hear that she used to play flanker. You know, we just seen a glimmer of that pace She must have been an absolutely ruthless 7, you know, like an extra ball carrier of sorts.
Yeah, and she loves being over the ball, so it'd be interesting to see if she gets opportunity to get her hands on it.
Greenway over the ball here. However, Jenny Davis, the referee, allows the ball to go back for Taff well.
We'll go scrum because it's not come in. You go lift in a strong position. You're off your feet.
Good clear comms there from Jenny Davis. I think Courtney Green, maybe seen her get over the ball a couple of times in the Celtic Challenge, so I'm not surprised to see her there. But Jenny Davis being really clear about what she wants to see in order for her to get reward for that.
Yeah, I feel like Courtney Greenway is certainly later on in this game when, you know, tired legs might be kicking in. She's absolutely ruthless. She'll keep going. She won't give up, and when there's going to be open field ahead of her, she's going to lick her lips. She's going to enjoy that later on in the game.
Yeah, she thrives in space, and she's also got the ability to create space, so it'll be exciting to see her. And there she is. Unfortunate.
You've got to roll away. You've got to give them.
There's a big carry there, to say the least, from Holly Brown. The Imogen Scheid with the chop, as you mentioned, like a good flanker with that big hit on Holly Brown.
Behind the kick, the lady. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, it was a nice starter play off that scrum with Jade Edwards, the dummy, and then giving it to the 13. So it did make some good ground. So it'd be interesting to see if they have different variations of that later in the half.
Good kick from Louise Shanahan from pretty much in the middle of the field to find touch. A good kick. It looks like Greenway a little bit frustrated with that decision.
That's perfect. Give us that.
Throw here for Taff well. The line now hasn't quite been functioning 100% for Kaylee Cushing. However, this time finds the front jumper. Ball is here with Lauren Hughes, taken into contact with Holly Dempsey for Senghennydd with the tackle.
Okay, you knocked it on at the bottom, so it's a scrum down.
Another scrum here will be coming. This time Senghennydd will feed, and those backs for Senghennydd, this is the type of situation they're going to enjoy. A lot of open field, you know, playing at the Principality. A lot of these girls might not have played on the pitch this big before, so there's plenty of space for those backs, especially if they've got the gas to go all the way around the outside.
Yeah, lots of space, and like we've already said, Senghennydd have lots of pace to match it as well, and probably the best turf they've played on it during the season. I know Senghennydd have actually played quite a few games at Ystrad Mynach, so they've used to playing on a fast track, so I expect to see them in some space off the back of this, really.
Yeah, as you mentioned, you're playing on the turf here at the Principality. You know, it doesn't get much better than this, because, you know, Wales women playing here yesterday, these girls playing on Mother's Day here. You know, it's a big occasion for everyone, and, you know, we see here the try once again from Rafiq Taylor. She's taken to it like duck to water here in the Principality, seeing the space and going all the way, and it's great to see.
Yeah, it is, and what a weekend for women's rugby, you know, with these 3 fixtures here today, that huge fixture here yesterday. It's just brilliant to see the game growing and these opportunities for people.
100%. Yesterday and today is almost like a celebration of women's rugby here in the Principality. It's fantastic to see so many opportunities across the game, from the top level to the domestic level. Ball's gone back for Senghennydd. And here we go, Courtney Greenway, beats 1, beats 2, here we go, 1-on-1 with the full-back, round the outside, beating Kirsten Field. Courtney Greenway, that's what she can do. A bit of a celebration as well, doesn't go amiss, and Senghennydd extend their lead, second try of the game, and no surprise to see Courtney Greenway scoring for the Sirens.
No, and that was a really exceptional try, one that she probably had no right to score. She had little space when she picked up that ball. Bobbling ball coming out the scrum after a really strong scrum from Taffswell, putting Senghennydd out under pressure, and she's managed to use great footwork in order to get into space, like you said, round the outside and then under the sticks.
Yeah, fantastic from Courtney Greenway, and it's just a testament to the sort of level she can play at. Enjoying herself at the Principality, hand in the air, make the most of this occasion.
And she loves playing for the Sirens. During Celtic Challenge, you know, we had a bye week, and she'd be the first person to come over and ask, oh, you know, we've got a quarter-final, can I go back and play for Senghennydd? So, you know, she really loves being in this environment, and that's a testament to Joe Howard and the environment that he's created.
And also to see Courtney Greenway sort of leading the charge with Senghennydd. They're pushing for promotion, they're unbeaten this season. It'd be good to see, you know, the likes of Courtney Greenway and others within this team. They're playing for their local team, they're playing for who they want to play, and they're trying to take that club up to the higher levels of Welsh domestic rugby, and it's good to see that sort of commitment to a team.
Yeah, you need a core group of players like that within Wales to really continue to grow the community game, and she's been like outstanding Celtic Challenge, and she deserves every success she's had.
Greenway again, beats one, beats two. Good offloading here from Senghennydd. The ball lands up with Imogen Scheid. Taffswell launching bodies into the breakdown illegally. Deems Jenny Davis.
It's tough, isn't it? You get a sniff and you get excited to go for that ball, but just need a bit more control there, because I think that counter-ruck opportunity could be on later in the game, because they had some good change from it there.
Greenway with the quick tap. Does find trouble. The ball is there for Louise Shanahan.
Advantage over.
Oh, big hit there coming in from Yasmin Sen, the front rower for Senghennydd. Over the ball goes Maguire. But the ball's still there for Taffswell. Jade Edwards this time with a carry.
Just stay.
The ball this time popped up. Oh, big carry. Almost bouncing Rhian Bowden, who does well in the end to take down the Ffynnon Taf carrier.
No hands,
Edwards. Ball out towards Holly Brown. Brown squaring up with Kaylee Smith.
You got it.
The ball is stolen, however, by Senghennydd. They're trying their best to get that ball out before Taffswell throw all their bodies into the breakdown. Beating one, then another. Big carry, eventually taken down by Kaylee Cushing for Taffswell.
Lots of space out wide here, and being unfortunately, I think we started to really see some of Taffswell DNA there. They're obviously a very physical team. They want to carry and they want to keep the ball tight, and I think that's where they got some good change. Obviously then they looked to go wide, and that's where the turnover came. So part of their DNA is clearly winning those collisions in the tight quarters, and I'm sure we'll continue to see that, which will aid them because it'll tire out Senghennydd.
Okay, make sure you're 5 meters back, please.
Here we see there the carry from the Sirens. Just couldn't quite, and as you mentioned, there was a lot of space out wide. Ball through the hands would have put them in acres of space. However, a good platform here for Taffswell, and there might be an opportunity to see something off the training ground.
Use it. Fine.
A cheeky fake, then it goes out to Edwards. The ball has gone forward, and Courtney Greenway lands up with a ball. However, Jenny Davis burst that balloon quickly to bring it back to the scrum, but Courtney Greenway thought she was going to be able to get away there.
I think Taffswell will be frustrated because the scrum was going really, really strong. Obviously, we've just heard Jenny Davis say there about the loose head change at angle, but they've clearly got the ascendancy at the scrum, so hopefully they can put a bit of pressure on Senghennydd now and really stop them having better field position.
Good scrum there by both sides. Greenway with the ball out to Scheid. Scheid to Taylor. Through the hands. The ball goes this time all the way out to the wing. But a big double tackle. And it is Holly Brown in collaboration with Jade Edwards putting the Senghennydd winger over the far side. Georgia Pritchard couldn't quite stay on the field of play. And good defence from Taffswell there, despite the space out wide. They were rushing over, moving quickly and closed the gap quite effectively for Georgia Pritchard.
Yeah, there's some lovely hands there as well to get the ball to width, and potentially could see a bit more deception in order for it to make it more difficult for Taffswell to defend that, because they defended it really well as it was all quite lateral, but some lovely hands. It's nice to see a variety of people with hands on ball, especially when we've got Courtney Greenway, Imogen Scheid and then Rath all within the 10, 12, 13, but it was nice to see other people getting their hands on the ball too, so they've obviously got threats across the park.
Slight injury there was to Holly Brown, back on her feet as we see Senghennydd steal the ball in the line out. Greenway, oh, lovely feet from Greenway, and here's some space in front of Imogen Scheid, beating two, sitting two down, coming one way then the other. Lovely play from the centre. On Taffswell, they've turned it. There's a lot of space downfield. They will look to run with the ball. And boot to ball in the end. Good option from the fly half. This is staying on the field of play. Kirsten Field not quite first to it as we see Lauren Stevens safely put the ball over the line.
Yeah, that's a great outcome for Taffswell. Jade Edwards finding the space there, and then Kirsten Field with some brilliant pace to really put Lauren Stevens under pressure, taking the ball into touch.
We can set it. We can set it, so we can start quickly, yeah? Okay,
good to see Imogen Scheid back up after that really good carry. She'd stayed down for a while, but it was lovely to see her in space using footwork as well, and that 10-12 combination seems to be quite dangerous.
Yeah, and here we see it. I thought we were going to see the kick once again. Throw it for Taffswell. Sarah Harper for Senghennydd waiting to contest. However, they opt to go for the driving more. They looked like both sides a little bit confused with what was happening. However, Taffswell come away with the ball. Holly Brown into contact.
Stay on.
Oh, big counter-ruck. I believe that was Chelsea Martin for Senghennydd. Oh, nice tip on. However, it is forward. I thought potentially that would have worked in Taffswell's favour. However,
red, 13 red, substitution.
Coming back, there will be a substitution.
13 red, yeah, if you give me a colour.
I think there was a really clever play from Taffswell there. Obviously, Senghennydd didn't engage with the maul, so there's opportunity then to be penalised for transferring the ball, but they kept the ball at the front and carried away. So that was some really smart play, and interesting that Senghennydd have decided to take that step. Probably indicates that they've got quite the threat at the maul time. They're a bigger pack. Taffswell are a bigger pack, so we could expect to see them to get some good change from that.
Yeah, as you said, interesting approach from Senghennydd not to engage with that maul. Senghennydd here then, deep in their half. A little bit of pressure applied to Hayley Skim. However, we see the ball out. There was an option to offload, but Scheid decides to keep the ball in hand. Taylor offloads out towards Kaylee Smith. Smith coming inside, beating one, squaring up. As we see, well, Taffswell, they've turned the ball over. Opportunity here for Kirsten Field. to attack. Advantage here as well for Taff Swell.
I've heard Jenny Davis now speak to Senghennydd a couple of times around their tackle height, specifically actually to Sarah Creek, number 4. So we're seeing a penalty here, and she seems to be getting frustrated with that aspect of the game.
Yeah, Senghennydd, we see Sarah Harper here on the floor getting some treatment. But as you mentioned, you know, Senghennydd 5 penalties by now, repeating the offences.
Number 4 blue
and once
high.
Again,
I didn't see what happened to number 6 blue.
They're on the back foot, and an opportunity for Taffswell to put the ball into the corner.
And it's not like Sarah Harper's not the type of player to go down with an injury.
So I hear that Lloyd Lewis is pitch side, and we're going to get a quick chat with him.
Yeah, dwi yma da Abi Griffiths i syffordd o'r Senghennydd. Abi, dechreuad anhygoel, sut ti'n teimlo hyd yma?
Dal bach yn nerfus, ond yn gyffrous hefyd. Mae fe'n fraint I wylio rhain yn chwarae ar hyn o bryd, so yeah.
Maen nhw'n wych, a gais just sôn yn gyflym am Courtney Greenway. Am dalent.
Yeah, mae hi'n chwaraewraig anhygoel. Mae thraed yn wych, a mae mor gloi wrth ymosod hefyd. Mae'n brofiad dda I gael gwylio hi heddiw.
Ac yn amlwg, chi wedi cael tymor anhygoel eleni. O'ch chi'n really hyderus felly yn dod mewn I heddiw?
Hyderus, ie. Dal bach yn nerfus fod ni ddim wedi ennill y gêm tan bod ni wedi ennill y gêm, a dwi'n meddwl mae angen pwysio'n hunain hefyd, ond mae'n rhaid iddyn nhw I bwysio ar y cae a just cymryd pob eiliad fel mae'n dod ar hyn o bryd, ond mae bach o hyder tu ôl I nhw.
Diolch yn fawr, Abi. Pob lwc. Diolch I ti.
Good to hear from Abby Cripps, involved with the Sirens coaching team at the moment. As we see, boot to ball, a bobbling ball everywhere. Kerry Parkin is in the 16 jersey after coming off the bench. She's slotted into the full-back position for Taff's Well. Big carry here from Bonnie Heath. As we see, good handling there from the hooker, Kaylee Cushing. And once again, another carry from Heath.
Nice and rough, lead!
Hurley here, the tight head prop, and turned over by Senghennydd. And a big celebration from Maguire.
Bring it back. Remember I said to you in the
Not
change
sure
room,
if
gotta make it
Taffswell with
away that
10
spot,
there
and
to
in my mark.
say the least, but the referee brings the ball back for the initial penalty.
Yeah, Taffswell are looking really good when they're playing on the front foot and carrying relatively close to the ruck, but we need to see them not taken up in 1s and 2s, because then they're getting isolated, and Senghennydd have got some great jacklers. We see here 2 players are over the ball, hungry for it, so it's obviously part of their game plan and something that Taffswell need to work harder to negate.
Plenty more rugby to go today following this first game in the bowl final between Senghennydd and Ffynnon Taf. The next game, 3 o'clock, is the final of the plate between Club Rugby Cymru Caerdydd and Seven Sisters, and then the cup final 5:20.
Time back on.
Bonamine, Port Tywyn. I'm trying to translate those teams in my head. I can't remember.
Bury Port.
Bury Port. There you go. We'll be playing later on, 5:20. Stay tuned for some more rugby this afternoon. Courtney Greenway once again finding space. Courtney Greenway with the gas. Oh, what a tackle from Kerry Parkin. Not often Greenway can be stopped with open field, but unbelievable work from the replacement fullback. Sarah Harper with the ball out, finding Kaylee Smith. Smith pins the ear back, crossing the line, and a lovely try for Senghennydd in the corner. Kaylee Smith, she enjoyed that one. 3rd try of the day for Senghennydd.
Oh, we're going TMO here, so it'd be interesting to see if she scored it or knocked it on in the process, but that was a great break from Courtney Greenway. Equally great defence from Kerry Parkin, and then for Courtney Greenway's back in the game, she gets on the ball early and releases Kaylee Smith, so it'll be interesting to see.
I can confirm that the tackle from 16 was high.
You can confirm?
Yes, ball was grounded. Are we checking the pass, are we?
Please.
Which pass do you want to check?
Which pass?
Talk of checking the pass
did you say was forward?
By Ian Davis, TMO today.
Oh, the players have complained that it's forward. Can you just check two phases back for me, please, to make sure it's not forward?
So we're hearing that
so
a few of the players were complaining about the pass being forward. So the officiating team are going to have a quick look at this.
Pass here. Okay.
And
then I'll deal with the high tackle.
Senghennydd go through the phases here. Not sure which pass it is that they were looking at. It looks
Jenny, stick with your on-field decision. You may want the try.
Clear-cut try.
And then
I thought initially they would have been checking the high tackle.
But the try had been scored, and it wouldn't have been scored in a more favourable position.
Okay. Try scored.
The right decision in the end by the officiating team,
16.
with TMO Ian Davis in the mixer. Looks like one of the Taff's Wells players might have injured themselves in the process of making that late tackle. However, Kaylee Smith with a try.
I have faith.
And despite the TMO complaints, you can't take away from a good finish in the end from Kaylee Smith after a well-worked opportunity.
Yeah, and a bit of a desperate tackle at the end there, obviously confirmed as high, but nothing more suspect. So now we're really challenging Sarah Harper with a conversion from out wide.
Tough kick for Sarah Harper from very wide position going towards the sticks, but it was Kaylee Smith with the try, and she'll certainly be watching this one back. Scoring at the Principality, it doesn't get much better than this.
No, it doesn't, and it's a great recognition of space from Courtney Greenway. Again, we can see what she could do when she's on ball, but she has that ability to put other people into space too, which has provided us with some great watch.
Absolutely.
Right, make sure the tackles are low.
Senghennydd 17 points to the good. Taffswell yet to get off the mark, and they'll need to be the next to score if they're going to have a chance of coming away with a victory today.
Yeah, we've seen how dangerous Senghennydd are with the ball, so I think now going forward Taffswell need to try and keep ball as much as possible.
You can sense the sort of bite between these teams. A little bit of a rivalry was mentioned between these two sides. A lot of them know each other very well. But here we go. Taylor once again. Inside, outside, lovely feet. And Rafiq Taylor under the sticks for the second time. And Senghennydd are really starting to show us what they are capable of. Some great individual tries and another brilliant show from Rafiq Taylor, this captain for her team. She's under the posts, and 4 tries for Senghennydd.
Yeah, that was unbelievable feat. I think I've seen Raf doing that for the last 10 years, and it doesn't seem to be getting tired. So yeah, she's put herself into a great position there, and given Sarah Harper a gift of a conversion into the post, which I'm sure she'd be pleased to score, especially on Mother's Day, as I know she has her children, which I'm sure are here.
A clean conversion for Sarah Harper. 24 points to the good now, Senghennydd. And it's becoming extremely difficult for Taffswell to fight back with Senghennydd, because you know, these individuals, you know, when they get open space like we mentioned at the start, it's a big pitch, it's a big track, and there's plenty of space out there for these speedy Senghennydd players potentially the surface favouring Senghennydd in terms of the personnel. You know, Taff, well, it looks like they're going for more of a physical type game, but this open, you know, this big field here, the Principality, space is key, and Senghennydd individuals, they've got plenty of speed in the backs.
Yeah, they're definitely two very different teams, and you can see Taff are a team that thrive in that physical battle, keeping it tight and really winning all those collisions, and struggle when the ball is a bit wider. So hopefully they can adapt and potentially get to half time now and revisit the game plan to ensure that they're able to put their best foot forward, because when they've had ball, they've made some good ground. So just trying to work out how they can really continue to break down the Senghennydd defence.
Lovely to see the crowd here today enjoying themselves in the sunshine in the capital. And Senghennydd at the moment enjoying their afternoon here on Mother's Day. They're looking very sharp. Here we go again. Courtney Greenway this time decides to pass it. Some would say uncharacteristic, because she does love to keep the ball in hands, and you can't blame her. You know, with feet like she's more than confident to score from anywhere on the field.
Yeah, definitely. It's probably a difficult decision to make, to pass the ball when you're having so much change of ball in hand. And that's unfortunate that they've given away the penalty there, because that was a great tackle from Georgia Tuma, 12 for Taff.
What a break here from Ffynnon Bowlen. An offload. Has Dempsey got the gas? Of course he does. Another try under the post for Senghennydd. This time, Holly Dempsey. She's got over 100 appearances for this club. This one might be the sweetest of them all. A try at the home of Welsh rugby for Holly Dempsey, and the supporters are loving that one.
I am really pleased for Holly Dempsey that she's got over the whitewash, because reading a bit about her story, she's played for Senghennydd since under 8s, and has gone right through the minis and junior section and into the women's game, and bar some time off when she had children, she's been a key player for Senghennydd. So I think that's a really nice moment for her to be scoring for them in this stadium.
Yeah, we can see the determination on her face, and then the pure joy of scoring. Another good conversion from Sarah Harper. 3 tries in 5 minutes for Senghennydd. They are relentless, and when they are on song, everything's falling for them at the moment. It's hard for a team of any level, and you think of Taff as well, how can they pick up their heads at the moment, because every attack Senghennydd have, they look so dangerous.
Yeah, I think it's important that Taff start celebrating the successes to create their own energy. Obviously, at the minute, all the momentum is with Senghennydd, so it's tough then to create your own energy. But they can really celebrate. You know, there's some big collisions in there. They've made ground every time they've had ball. So they just need to really stick to what their typical DNA is, and really enjoy those moments where they are having good go forward and good game line.
Not quite the restart Taffswell were looking for.
Well, I've got to be said, I haven't heard a team allow the other team to retake the kick as the option very often instead of a scrum. So if I was a Taffswell front row, I would be celebrating that hard. They don't want a scrummage.
Absolutely. They know the power that Taffswell have in the scrum. And as you say, it's an interesting decision from Senghennydd, because you'd have imagined they'd want to get all the big players together nice and tight and plenty of open space for the backs. And the ball's been dropped by Sarah Harper.
And now they have to scrummage anyway.
Deeper in their own half. And they won't be feeding the scrum. So there's a lot of negatives from that decision for the Senghennydd Sirens. On the flip side, Taffswell, they'll be licking their lips for this opportunity, and they'll want to get on the board for sure from this situation. A big scrum here, and maybe a move off the training ground.
Yeah, and this is where they have to create their own energy. Like I just said, you know, Senghennydd just chose not to scrummage and keep their ball. So I would be walking to this scrum with a bit of swagger and a bit of excitement over what can be done.
Yeah, free kick here, so they won't be able to go back to the scrum with
tap and go.
The law changes. Tap and go is the option.
Back 10, girls, back 10.
Senghennydd end up not having to scrum in the end. Big carry here, however, from Bonnie Heath. Support there for Taffswell. Ball out wide, a bit of space. A show and go from Kaylee Cushing. Taffswell here in the 22. Down the blind side they go. Hurley within 5 metres. Taffswell, the closest they've been all game to getting over the line. Quick ball here. Katie Priddle almost there. 2 metres. It is now for Taffswell. Big hit, however, as they push Taffswell back. Ball is there. Almost sniping around the breakdown. Louise Shanahan. But waiting for the ball. Bonnie Heath. A low body position.
Okay. 3, you're offside.
We'll go back for the penalty, but once again, agonisingly close for Taffswell.
Because there's a person down.
Some really good play there from Taffswell. That is what they've been thriving off all day, having that go forward from those close contact carries. So it's pleasing to see that they've gone back to that, stuck to that, and got so close. I'd like to see them tapping and going and running straight at Senghennydd again here, because I think that Senghennydd are definitely stronger in attack than they are in defence.
They're on their own try line, Senghennydd. Big carry here from Cushing. Short, says the referee. The ball is there for Taffswell. Twisting, turning. Oh, looks held up here. What great work in defence by Senghennydd Sirens. I believe it was Leanne Fletcher under the ball. And somehow Taffswell come away from that attack with no points.
She is, having played with Leanne, she is someone who would fix every problem. She's the fixer of the team. And I think, you know, that proved it there. She's really good in the contact area, and that was excellent awareness to see that player was twisting and therefore about to get over the line.
Yeah, great defence there was from Senghennydd as
leave her now, it's a
they
wrap,
have
no hands.
Put the ball just outside the 22. The Taffswell are back in here. Just over 3 minutes till half-time. Another penalty from Senghennydd. It's 7 by now from the Sirens. And Taffswell, they love to get on the board before half-time to create some momentum before they change ends. Another carry here from Stacey Wright. The ball is free. Oh, cutting back inside, aiming to try and get under the sticks was Cushing.
Advantage.
Another advantage for Taffswell. A big bounce by Priddle. And there might be a word here. A quick tap from Shanahan. Try for Taffswell. And it comes in the end to the scrum half, Louise Shanahan. Like every good 9, seeing the space, taking the quick tap, scoring for Taffswell. And it must be said, for the last 5 minutes, Taffswell, they've earned that try. They've been knocking at the door, trying to get over the line, held up once, they don't miss twice. Shanahan with the score.
Yeah, great work from the forwards there to get real good go forward and put their scrum half in a position where she is able to score. And I think a lovely story. You know, we heard before the game about the passing of their coaches and particularly Louise's wife. So I think to then, you know, 6 weeks on from that, to be in the Principality Stadium scoring a try is obviously a very emotional moment for her.
Yeah, lovely to hear these stories of all of these grassroots women still playing rugby, still determined to play at the best level they can and reaping the rewards by playing at the Principality, scoring at the Principality. Shanahan with a try, Jade Edwards with a conversion, and Taffswell up to 7, Senghennydd 31.
And that passage of play where they kept the ball for so long would have really sapped the energy out of Senghennydd as well, which will obviously only benefit Taff as well going into the last 90 seconds or so of this game. The more they can put Senghennydd on the floor through those real physical carries, and then hopefully that will allow them to have some change in defence as well.
Smart kick downfield by the try scorer, Shanahan. The cheeky goosey from Kaylee Smith, clearly enjoying herself at the Principality. Running into trouble was Fletcher, and in the end, Imogen Scheid boots a ball over the top. Kick from Jade Edwards goes straight out. I thought they might have backed themselves to run there. There's a lot of space on the far side, but the kick was the route that Jade Edwards went for. Doesn't quite come off that time, and a chance for Senghennydd to try and regain some momentum just before the half.
Yeah, and interesting hearing them call about a 5-man line out, as they've had, like we've already mentioned, they've had so much change when they've in space, so I'm not sure why they would opt for an option that would take away a bit of their space by putting those extra players out in the defence.
A lot of bodies here for Senghennydd. Taylor, ball out wide towards Stevens, cutting inside. Good tackle from Kristen Field, who's moved from the full-back position out to the wing. Kaylee Smith, not taking no for an answer, still pumping the legs, trying to get over the gain line. Ball out here for Greenway, who decides to pop it inside to Maguire.
Good steal.
Stolen, says the referee.
Leave 10.
And they look to play. It's a crossfield kick, and it's bounced up favourably for Taffswell. Stripped, however, and an opportunity for Dempsey. Offload to Bowden. Bowden one way, then the other, beating two players, eventually launched to the ground, but Dempsey, lovely handoff. Second try of the game for Holly Dempsey. It came from Rhian Bowden's huge carry, and Holly Dempsey crosses for her second of this game, and Senghennydd making the difference once again. The 6th try of the afternoon for the Sirens. Just before the half, a good time to score.
Yeah, definitely, and I think they've been really clinical. Early on we saw them give away a couple of balls when they were in their 22, and since then we've seen them be really clinical and score every time that they've entered there. So definitely a time to regroup for Taffswell, and hopefully work out how they can keep the ball away from Senghennydd, because their attack is proven difficult for Taffswell to live with.
The crowd starting to show their voice again. The side and support are in good numbers here today. Conversion missed. However, that's it for the first half. Senghennydd Sirens 36, Taffswell 7 is the score at the break. And what a half we've had. 6 tries in all for Taffswell. 6 tries in all for Senghennydd. Taffswell the 1, and Senghennydd lead at the break.
The crowd here have been brilliant, got to be said. I think I saw that both sides were bringing multiple buses down of supporters, and it's really telling. And they're really loud, and after being here yesterday in that atmosphere, it's great to see the same commitment from the fans for the grassroots game as well as the international game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just as important, isn't it, to support the grassroots teams. You know, all these players, this is their final today, this is their moment, similar to, you know, yesterday with the international team. You know, everyone wants to play here, everyone loves playing here, and it's just such an occasion for these women to be able to play here. It's fantastic to see.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a credit to the way the game in Wales has started to be structured from grassroots up. So we've got, you know, these games being played here today, and we see a number of players who have then facilitated Celtic Challenge, like Courtney Greenway, who have then allowed for the Celtic Challenge players to then go ahead and play for Wales. So it's a nice little story that Courtney Greenway, who played the Celtic Challenge, and then Alao and Maisie, who played alongside her, got to play here yesterday in a different event. Yeah, absolutely. Here's a look at a few of the tries, and this is the first of 2 for Taylor. It must be said, those feet are absolutely unbelievable from Rafiq Taylor. It's hard to pick the best of the bunch in the first half for Senghennydd, but as you mentioned, Greenway, she's a talent, and she is great with open field ahead of her. A lovely celebration to cap it all off. Yeah, and gone backwards to go forwards and still found the space. I think, typically as a player alongside her or a coach, you would like to see her running cross field, but she makes such good change from it, and then which facilitates her teammates then to get on ball. Like we've seen there, great offload off the floor as well, which then allows her to find space later on in this play, and then a try in the corner. So some brilliant, well-rounded tries. Yeah, absolutely, and another one for Senghennydd here. They looked comfortable despite playing here, a lot of them for the first time. They looked like they were at ease, especially towards that middle section of the first half. They were so comfortable throwing the ball around and finding spaces. It almost looked easy out there for them. I'm sure it wasn't, but they made it look so easy. Yeah, definitely, and they've got experience across the board. We're seeing now Rhian Bowden making a break, ex-Welsh international. Rafiq has played for Wales as well. We've got Sarah Harper, who has played for Wales Deaths. We've just seen a real range of that. Yeah, absolutely. This try for Taff, their only score of the half, and this the last try of the first half. Keeping the ball in hand, they were Senghennydd. Rhian Bowden taking the ball to the line, and a good show of speed and strength it was in the end from Holly Dempsey. So those are the tries from the first half. Here's a chance for us to go down to pitch side to Lloyd.
Ie, dwi yma unwaith eto gyda is-hyfforddwr Senghennydd Abi Cripps. Reit te, ti'n newydd bod ymhlith y genod I gyd fyna. Beth yw'r negeseuon hanner amser?
I gadw ein pennau lawr a chadw fynd a dal ati ar hyn o bryd. Dwi'n meddwl mae'r cryfder fyna, mae jyst angen bwrw ymlaen gyda be ni'n neud. Mae yna cwpl o gamgymeriadau sydd wedi cael eu codi, ond mae yna'n disgwyliedig. Felly, chwarae'r ffordd ni'n chwarae a chadw fynd.
Ac wrth gwrs cadw fynd, wrth gwrs chi wedi cael hanner anhygoel. Ildio un cais ar y diwedd. Sut nath hwnna ddigwydd I ti? Oes unrhyw beth mae'n rhaid poeni amdano?
Dwi ddim yn meddwl mae yna unrhyw beth mae'n rhaid I ni'n boeni amdano. Dwi'n meddwl oedd Taff yn bwrw ymlaen yn galed iawn fan'na. Nhw'n pigo'r pêl lan ac yn mynd. Felly oedd e'n amlwg iawn o'n nhw'n moyn y cais fan'na. Felly dechreuad ffres nawr, ail hanner, a gawn ni weld be maen nhw'n gallu wneud nawr.
Ac yn amlwg ti wedi cael tymor anhygoel eleni. Beth sy'n nesaf i'r tîm special yma?
Wel, ni'n gobeithio I fynd lan yn y gyngrair ac I wneud be ni'n gallu wneud fan'na. Felly bydd yna fwy o brofiad yn erbyn y tîmoedd ni'n chwarae yn erbyn, ac felly bydd e'n brofiad well iddyn ni gael gwella ein hunain hefyd.
Gwych. A just cyn ni gadael chi ti fynd, ar y mainc, oes unrhyw un dylswn ni edrych mas amdano yn ail hanner?
Pob un.
Pob un. Abi, diolch yn fawr I ti. Reit te, nôl i'r tîm a sylwebu.
Yeah, great to hear there from Lloyd with the Senghennydd coaching team once again. A preview for the game later on as we see Seven Sisters arrive in the Principality. They're excited, to say the least, because during the week they had their last training session and they looked geared up to go. They've got a big game against Club Rugby Cymru Caerdydd. That's to come after this game, and of course the final of the Cup later on as well, 5:20 for that game. Women's finals day here at the Principality. Second half in the bowl final between Senghennydd and Taff. Senghennydd in the blue, Taff in the red. And Senghennydd 36 points 8-7 the score after half. And if you're a player in the Taffswell ranks, how do you think they would adapt their game for this second half? Because as we were discussing at half-time during that Lloyd interview, it's going to be hard to deal with Senghennydd for the rest of this game because they are so exciting, they're so, you know, energised, they've got stamina to go the whole duration of the game. How do you think Taffswell will try and adapt to that?
Yeah, I think Taffswell need to play the game on their own terms. So they're a team who are obviously thrive in when they got the ball, they carry it, and they're making dominant collisions when they keep the ball for long periods of time. So they probably need to have a look at, obviously, to start playing the right areas, and then really looking at keeping the ball tight and really challenging the Senghennydd defence. It must be said that Senghennydd look like they've still got more energy about them than Taffswell. So if I was Taffswell, I would walk to the line out. I would really try and take the momentum away from Senghennydd to make sure that they're not continuously on the front foot and you know, evidently getting over the try line.
Yeah, despite being injured, looks like the player going off the field has enjoyed her afternoon, smiling here at the Principality. What's not to smile about, despite going off? I'm sure it's a day to remember and a day that she will reflect on for the rest of her life.
Yeah, it's a great occasion to be a part of, and you know, it's a lovely day in terms of the weather to be out there playing rugby, let alone playing in such a incredible venue. So yeah, they'd be, I'm sure she'll be in a bit of pain because she went off injured, but despite that big smile says it all and just says how important these opportunities are for these players.
Yeah, absolutely. We see a substitute coming onto the field to replace the injured front rower for Taffswell.
That's a maul!
Maul here for Senghennydd. Sarah Grant is at the back of that maul. A change at the half, it seems, to Senghennydd. Over the ball. And Taffswell have stolen it. Penalty against Senghennydd, and they'll have an opportunity to try and put this one down the field.
Yeah, some great defence there. They originally tried to stand off the maul, which wasn't working for them, and as soon as they made contact with the maul, they were really good at stopping it. And then again, they managed to turn over the ball, and hopefully we'll see them win their line-out. Their line-out has been under quite a lot of pressure from Senghennydd, but it'd be nice to see them with the ball in hand at the start of this half.
Sarah Grant has just come through, has come on for Taffswell. She's wearing the number 6 jersey for Taffswell. It's in fact Shirley Webley playing for Senghennydd in the 23 jersey. Another change as well, it seems the Shauna Bowman-Rees has come on as well for the Sirens. Another injury here though for Taffswell, and it doesn't look too good either.
It was a big collision, and I've heard the ref is asking the TMO to have a look at it. It was a huge collision, but I think she put it down with control. We're seeing here Courtney Greenway above horizontal, but I do feel like she brought it down with control, so I think that one probably could go either way.
It's a penalty.
Just a penalty.
Ian?
Comes between Jenny Davis and Ian Davis at TMO.
It's a scrum blue ball with... Okay, happy with that. So, it's going to be a scrum blue ball. Because you're in possession when I stop.
Senghennydd. Good to hear the Taffswell's players having a bit of a laugh with the referee about that tackle. It was in that grey area, I guess, between being penalty or not, and Jenny Davis decided today no penalty, and feels like with the occasion probably the right decision.
Yeah, and I think that speaks volumes about tackle tech. I think Courtney Greenway is quite a slight girl, and she's managed to put in a huge collision there. And yeah, so great height from her, great collision, potentially going forward a bit more control.
Ball out to Greenway. Side of the ball to Taylor. Taylor, show and go. Good tackle from Kristen Field. Greenway with the ball. Show and go. Gas from Greenway. Finds the gap. Another score for the talented fly half today. 7th of the afternoon for Senghennydd. Courtney Greenway, she's too good. She just is too good. And another try for her.
Yeah, and we see her doing that tackle that caused the turnover and then scoring the try off the back of it. So, yeah, some nice, almost dummy with her mouth by communicating with that she was going to pass the ball, and then just trusted back in her pace and spotting that mismatch there in the wide channel.
And she's allowed to squeeze ball at adults. Right, you are allowed ball. Yeah, adults. No, adults who like to squeeze ball.
Greenway taking over the kicking duties as well in this second half. It just seems that Sarah Harper's gone off the field. So Greenway in front of the posts for Senghennydd. Over the posts it goes from the fly half. 43 points it is now for Senghennydd. Taff still on 7.
Yeah, and Cherie Webley, who's come on for Sarah Harper, is someone, again, who has been around the women's game for years. I've actually worked with her in a previous role when I was teaching, and she is someone who loves women's rugby, is a real champion for women's rugby. I have no doubt she would have been here yesterday. And yeah, it's nice to see her on the field and getting to live this occasion.
Taff gets the ball back underway. A nice kick downfield as well from Imogen Scheid as the ball bobbles up a couple of times before it's collected by Kerry Parkin. Offloads to Kristen Field. Good support getting into the breakdown. Amy Clayton on Field's shoulder.
Release!
Battling in the breakdown. Bowman Rees for Senghennydd, and a big hit on Hurley. She goes backwards. And Taffswell keep it close, keep it narrow. Through the phases. They go, keeping the ball in hand. Big carry this time. Needs support. And the ball goes towards the far side. Lovely spiral and finds touch. Good work from Taffswell, and they'll need to put Senghennydd in the pressure here from the line-out.
Yeah, it must be said, they've obviously made a couple of changes, and the subs have brought some real good energy. I think there we've seen them string together a few phases. Good go forward from their forwards, and an identification of space from their backs. So some better rugby, and hopefully they'll be able to continue playing in this half now.
A couple of changes for Senghennydd.
11 red.
They're trying to communicate to the far side to get Amy Clayton off the field for Taffswell. We're good to see all of these players get good game time as well today. Often in finals, when you see a tight contest, sometimes people miss out on minutes, but today, given the nature of the game and nature of both coaches, I guess as well, giving plenty of game time to both benches, and it's great to see everyone have their opportunity.
Yeah, and just really highlights how they're really embracing the occasion, and allowing lots of girls to get those minutes in. I must say I've been really impressed with Kirsten Field so far this game, you know, both in attack and defence. She's obviously put that experience from playing for Wales Deaf to use, because I think she's been probably a key player for Taff as well. Despite them being mostly on the back foot, she's still getting into the game and really displaying what she's able to do.
Yeah, good to see these posters for family members, friends, from supporters, especially on Mother's Day.
Tie back on.
I'm sure a lot of these players today, those who are mothers, they might not have a Mother's Day similar to this again.
No, definitely not. It's definitely an alternative Mother's Day, but I'm sure there's nothing else they'd rather be doing.
Sunday roast or playing in the Principality? Which one would you rather?
I would definitely rather play in the Principality.
Absolutely. What a day and what a memory for these players today to play at the Principality. And for Senghennydd, this seems at the moment to take the victory as well at the Principality. A lot of time to go in this game still for the lead built throughout the first half and early second half by the Sirens puts them in a good spot going in to the second half and the rest of this game.
Lou said pulling down. Go.
And again, Taffswell, penalty from the scrum. It's clear to see their physicality and their presence in the scrum is scaring Senghennydd, to say the least, because Senghennydd are not very keen to go into the scrum today.
No, they're not, and unfortunate to miss touch there, be frustrating for the forwards, especially when they've really put the effort in that scrum. And I've seen in the build-up to this game, obviously off the back of them losing two of their coaches, they've had a number of people in helping, including Mark Breeze, who's set-piece coach with the Wales Pathway, both men's and women. So they've had some experience, some good experience in that, in terms of coaching at the scrum. So I'm not surprised to see that they have the ascendancy there.
Penalty advantage high.
Another penalty advantage to Taffswell. There's plenty of space out wide. Couple of passes to release the wide players is all that's needed for Taffswell, but they decide to keep it nice and tight through the forwards. No advantage.
You've trapped her in, so I'm not giving it there.
And so if I was the captain for Taffswell, I'd be asking the question of Jenny Davis now. I think Senghennydd have given away a lot of penalties, and also equally a lot of penalties for high tackles as well. So I'd like to start seeing her, being a bit more disciplined around that area and giving them that player advantage potentially. Yeah,
10 penalties Senghennydd have given away this game. It's a very high penalty count, and normally that sort of penalty count, you'd imagine that the other team would be ahead in the game, having given away so many penalties, but Taffswell have just not quite been able to take advantage of those.
Yeah, and the thing is, Jenny Davis is communicating really well with the players. She's telling them exactly what she's seeing and why she's not giving them change for certain things. So we just need to. They need to be listening, and again, challenge it, and how many times and how many warnings they're going to have.
Front ball stolen by the Sirens, but it does bobble over the far touchline, and if anything, it's a good result for Taffswell. Another throw closer to the line this time.
Okay. It's tactical. That's fine. Hold the gap, ladies.
Yeah, Taffswell are struggling to win their own ball at line out, particularly. So they're in a really good position here. So I'd like to see them win the ball, and off the back of that, hopefully get some go forward. And as I said, that a turnover and a good strong carry from Rhian Bowden there.
Yeah, Rhian Bowden going over the gain line, and once again another big carry, this time Tara May Fitzgerald, who's off the bench for Senghennydd, trying to play from deep within their own half here. Senghennydd running around a couple of players, big carry, lovely offload. It's not quite gathered by the skipper Taylor.
Making subs numbers.
Scrum for Taffswell in the 22, and they'll be hoping to score from this position, as we see a couple of other changes happening here for Senghennydd. Imogen Shai and Rhian Bowden going off the park, and both of them have played their part today. Some big carries, might not have crossed the try line, but they've done the hard work. They've put their team on the front foot, and they've certainly played well this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, again, like you previously said, credit to the coaching staff, because they're both players who've been really influential in the game. But obviously trusting their bench, and rightly so, and excited to see the energy that these replacements bring on now.
Megan Phillips and Gemma Bissey off the bench. Megan Phillips has played for the Dragons 18, so it'll be interesting to see how she goes this afternoon. And another big shove from Taff. A show and go. Ball out towards Field. Kristen Field, she's got pace. Oh, almost beating the last defender. But again, Taff keeping the ball alive, offloading effectively. Ball is there for Shanahan. Big carry once again from Taff. And this time the penalty goes the other way. Senghennydd. Not 10, says the referee.
Quick. 10.
Often we see the referee look to go to the pocket with not 10. However, in that instance, Jenny Davis deciding against.
Yeah, they're deep in their own half, so I guess you know, it wasn't that influential on whether it would result in a try. And interesting to see Senghennydd play from deep here. They're obviously really enjoying having ball in hand.
Greenway, one way, then the other. Lovely feet from Courtney Greenway. And she's going to go all the way again. Wow. What a score for Courtney Greenway. She's really enjoying herself here at the Principality, and it's too easy for Courtney Greenway.
It must be said, even a litter of Taffwell players on their knees as she's used exceptional footwork to get into that space there.
Yeah, Courtney Greenway will have another look at this. One way, then the other. Beating one defender, beating a second defender. 4 defenders beaten for Courtney Greenway, taking the ball from pretty much within her own 22. All the way under the posts, making the most of the moment.
And now she has the privilege of converting her own try as well. No rest for the wicked.
It says a lot about someone's try as well when all of the defending team are closer to the try line than behind the sticks. Conversion is good for Courtney Greenway as well, and we have another look at that try. She's just far too good for this level.
Yeah, she is. It must be said, she's, you know, an outstanding player and is finding pace quite comfortably. And that's a reflection of her having the opportunity to play in Celtic Challenge and equally being a prolific try scorer at that level. So, you know, she clearly enjoys being part of the Senghennydd Sirens. And it's obviously a big part of her DNA and her progression.
And interestingly as well for Courtney Greenway, she went to the trials for the Celtic Challenge, didn't she? So it's great to see players, you know, still being spotted despite, you know, Courtney Greenway, you know, 25 years old. She's not coming through the ranks, but there are still, you know, provisions in place to find these players and bring them to the level where, you know, where they deserve to be able to play, because she's certainly good enough to play at the Celtic Challenge level. And, you know, it's great to see that she was spotted through the system put in place by the Dragons.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why it's so important to have those opportunities, because rugby is a late development sport, and you know, we need to be seeing people that not just in the pathway or already playing in the PWR or the Prem, to give them the opportunity.
And as we were talking, another try for Rafiq Taylor, the captain. A late charge to try and stop it from Taffswell. A superb work from Rafiq Taylor, taking the ball deep from within her own half, finding space easily, showing her speed, and her third try of the game, hat-trick for Rafiq Taylor. she's got a smile on her face. I think she's enjoying herself.
Yeah, and I think that just shows like the other end of the spectrum. Rafiq Taylor being an ex-international player who is, you know, continuing to play and playing in for Senghennydd in the community game. So we've got, you know, Courtney Greenway, who's been a real breakthrough player this season and then coming through the Celtic Challenge, and then Raf, who, you know, has been playing for many years, has been a Welsh international and is still playing at this level and scoring brilliant tries.
Yeah, fantastic play from the experienced Rafiq Taylor, captain for Senghennydd, and she enjoyed that one as well, celebrating with a crown. It's good to see the players out here enjoying themselves, and Senghennydd 9 tries. I don't think they'll be stopping there. Oh, what a huge carry from Taylor, straight away with the ball back in hand. As they pass the ball towards the edges on the far side this time, and once again going through the hands, keeping the ball with the forwards for the time being. Esme Davis.
Leave it 8.
Penalty advantage to the side. Big hits from the Taffswell centre.
I think Taffswell are really comfortable defending those closer carries, and they're making some massive hits. Yeah, so it's just about pulling that width, because that's obviously where Senghennydd are dangerous. But when they're carrying closer to the contact area, we're seeing some brilliant hits from Taffswell.
Taylor, a show and go, this time with the ball. Phillips, good offloading from, big hit, it must be said, from Paige Price, I believe, wearing the number 18 jersey. Courtney Greenway, I'm sure the rest of the Taffswell players will be very pleased to see someone putting in a big shot on Greenway after the joy she's had all game. Another big hit from Taffswell. Ball goes forward. There's space here on the far side. Quick ball needed for Taffswell. 2 passes would have found a lot of space. However, keeping it tight. Field that time going into contact. Boots a ball in the end. Touch. Football skills there from Courtney Greenway. And now she's going to use her pace, using her step, and a lovely offload to cap it all off.
Yeah, I think, again, a bit frustrating from Taffswell. They're making some good change. They've had a good defensive set, but the last person they probably want to kick the ball to is Courtney Greenway.
Taylor keeping the ball alive. Kaylee Smith with space now, finding the gap one-on-one with the last defender. Gets the ball away, and it is a Taffswell body first to the ball. Tired bodies out on the field by now, as we see Louise Shanahan set the ball. Here we go, some space for Taffswell. Gas required, but a good defence eventually gets over there by Senghennydd. Big hit from Courtney Greenway. There's a couple of bodies
Time off. Water break.
on the deck here.
Water break now. So you
You
got
see
a
that
water break, ladies.
big tackle on Courtney Greenway. Great hit, well timed. But then she's back on her feet.
Yeah.
This is what she can do.
She's got great bounce back ability, that's for sure. I think that collision was brilliant, and then to see that player back up to their feet to try and make a mess of that ruck showed really good work right there from the Taffswell girls.
Yeah, a couple of players down on the park getting some treatment at the moment, as we wait to see both players back on their feet. However, yeah, 3 or 4 bodies on the ground. as the referee just explains a couple of decisions. There's a chance here though to go down to Lloyd, pitch side.
Ie, diolch prif hyfforddwr Ffynnon Taf, Craig, reit, yn amlwg ar ochr anghywir y sgôr, ond chi'n methu cwestiynu y calon mae'r merched yn dangos, mae tecla anhygoel nerthol dal i ddod mewn. Chi'n prowd o beth maen nhw'n gwneud eleni?
Ie, mae'r merched wedi chwarae da iawn. Bob glor i Senghennydd, maen nhw wedi bod yn chwarae arbennig o dda heddiw, ond ni wedi enjoy'r achlysau, felly dyna beth mae'n bwyty heddiw.
Gwych, diolch yn fawr Craig, diolch yn fawr i ti, and also joining me is President of Taff, the legend Phil Steele. How important is a day like today for the club?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's, even though the scoreline really is immaterial compared to the actual day out for the club. It's wonderful. It's fabulous for our girls because it's the third time we've actually got to the final, but the first time it's been played here on the stadium. And even though the scoreboard is as it is, it's just it's life-changing for some of these players, for the families. You know, I've just been up with the families now, all decked out in their Taffswell gear. Senghennydd Sirens as well, the same. You know, it's lifelong memories and can only do good for the development of the game.
And how much does it mean for the club occasions like today?
Well, it's just, as I said, it's just a red letter day, not just for the club, but for all those individuals who are out there, all their families. It's a real family day out for the club. You know, you've got the men's finals next week as well. It's something that the Welsh Rugby Union do well is to give every player a chance to play out on here. I mean, it's how do you put a price on that? You've played on the world's greatest rugby stadium. It's wonderful.
Brilliant. And there's a vicious rumour going around, Phil, that you put your hand in your pocket, put some money behind the bar for the girls later. Is it true, and how much?
It is true. I won't say how much. I'm just looking for Terry Knight now, the team manager, to find. You've got to do it to celebrate if they win, but also you've got to do it to commiserate if they lose. So there's no way out for the president.
There is no way out. Phil, you're a legend. Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
All the best, mate. Diolch.
Yeah, good to see Phil Steele here, president of Taffswell. I've nicked his job for the day. I'm sure he'll be back on commentary soon enough. And nice to see he's made some effort and put on some decent clothes today. A lovely grey suit. Taffswell here on the charge.
Another great scrum from them as well. I must say that's definitely been one of their strengths. And something, you know, I think hopefully we can see them get some change out of now in the last 20 minutes of this half.
Big counter-hook again from Taffswell, and then, well, a big hit from Fletcher for Senghennydd. Ball once again pops up to Stacey Wright, who almost got over the line in the first half.
Right, substitution numbers. 21 red, 21 red.
A few pushes at the end of that phase. There'll be a substitution here as we see Kirsten Field go off the pitch. Apologies if you heard any bad language there coming off the field microphones.
I think Kirsten Field's had a really good day. You know, I think she's shown some real good prominence in attack and also some great defence. So I think she could be pleased with her effort today, despite the result.
More rugby to come this afternoon. The plate final and the cup final, 3 o'clock and 5:20 respectively. So don't go too far away following the end of this game, as there's more rugby to come here from the Principality. Taffswell president once again to be seen. What do you think of his cap?
Yeah, it's jazzy, and I don't blame him. To be fair, over there they're in the sun and we're in the shade, so he's got the best of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the sun's out here in Cardiff. From what I've been told, it's the wettest capital in the world, I think, Cardiff. Statistics have said. So it's great to see, for once, we've got a decent day for some good rugby here at the Principality.
Well, I think that's just gone in favour of me emigrating. It's a shame that it's the wettest capital in the world, but we have seen some nice weather today, and hence why the girls had a water break. I remember a couple of times I've played in tournaments abroad, and we've had water breaks, maybe my favourite games.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a bit of a breather. get some fluids on board, get ready for the last 20 minutes. And to be fair, you know, these players have put it all out there. And, you know, playing in this weather, you know, it's hot today comparing to other days they've played, and they're playing on probably the biggest turf they'll play. It's a tough shift out there for these players. It's an easier shift for these fans in the crowd, you know, enjoying themselves. They're having a good time.
Yeah, the vibes are good over in that stand, to be fair.
I wish we were on the other side.
Yeah, they have plenty of energy over there, and I think it's been continuous throughout the game. And it must be brilliant for the players to be part of those clubs who are actually so supportive of them.
Feels like there's a few missing signs out of what they're trying. I'm sure there must be a name of some player. It feels like maybe Kaylee, from what the letters they had together. Maybe Kaylee Smith. Good to see they're all working together. But good vibes only in the Principality today as we get ready to jump into what would be the last quarter of this game. Just under 20 minutes to go. Senghennydd Sirens 50 points to the good at the moment, and they'll be hoping to put some more points on board. Oh, cat flap to Courtney Greenway. She does loop the ball back inside to Kaylee Smith. Not sure what to do with the ball as they'll go back. Forward pass it is. Scrum to Taff well here.
Come on, girls, you can't move now.
And they'll be hoping to get over the line for the second time this afternoon. The shift, the work they've done, especially in the pack, they've been keeping the ball very tight throughout the game. Is on a day like today, it's, you know, conditions and the pitch doesn't quite suit their style of play, and, you know, maybe that's the biggest differential between these two sides.
Yeah, definitely. And the last scrum actually was a bit better from Senghennydd. After we've seen, I believe it is Jamie Lee Knight go off, and she's someone who's had over 150 appearances for the club as well. But yeah, it's nice to see Taff well with some possession now in that opposition 22, and hopefully we'll see some change from here as well.
Ball stripped. Megan Phillips coming away with the ball for the Senghennydd Sirens.
No hands, it's a ruck. No hands, it's a ruck. Oh.
Injury on the field. It doesn't look a good one. I believe it's Holly Brown. She sounds like she's in some serious agony.
Yeah, and she's actually someone who went off earlier in the game in the first half and has made great impacts since coming back on. We've seen her put in some good collisions and then that carry there, so it's unfortunate to see her down, and obviously we wish her the best and hopefully she gets back up.
Yeah, injury on the field.
It'll be Blues because they are in possession to stop the injury.
We turn to the crowd again, who've been in good voice today.
Okay, we need a stretcher. Can you get that over? Medic?
We hear it's not a good one for
Michaela,
Holly Brown.
I need a stretcher.
As they call for the stretcher. Hopefully Holly Brown is okay. Overall, must be said, reflecting on the game so far, Senghennydd have been exceptional in open play, as we see their supporters showing their voice, enjoying the tunes that are being blasted out here at the Principality. It almost feels like the half-time show yesterday.
Oh, the half-time show yesterday was brilliant.
It must be said, it was a spectacle to see, you know. I haven't seen anything like it in the Principality before.
No, it was, the whole occasion was brilliant. I think I would probably say pregnancy hormones, but I sobbed. I sobbed during the anthem, seeing the girls come out and just seeing the growth of the women's game in the last few years was just incredible.
Yeah, and that's, you know, the way the game's going. This is what we want. You know, we want to be able to pack out the Principality. You know, 21,000 this year. How many more can we, you know, get here for next year? You know, those players yesterday inspiring the next generation, and hopefully we'll see you know, some more people getting, well, you know, seeing the hype, seeing, you know, it's a different atmosphere, isn't it? It's in the women's game, and it's almost like a carnival and a party every time we come here to the Principality to watch the women. I'm just hearing that Lloyd's got some more company pitch side, so let's take a quick look at who he's got.
Ie, dwi ma gyda'r ddau yma, prif hyfforddwr Joe a Abby eto. Mae'r camera'n caru Abby heddiw ma. Right, Joe, first and foremost, you've been part of the coaching setup for a year and a half now. Is this the pinnacle for you?
It's massive. The girls worked so hard to get from where we started to now. Everyone's been involved, and to see us perform the way we are in this situation, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Abby, question i ti, beth mae fe fel I gweithio o dan Joe fan hyn? What's it like to work under Joe?
Mae fe'n fraint, is a privilege, oherwydd mae fe'n mor uchelgeisiol a mae fe'n gythio'n merched I fod y gorau allan nhw'n fod. Felly, he does work very hard to make sure that they are the best that they can be, so it's great.
Fantastic. And Joe, what's next for you then after this, well, convincing win here in the final?
Next, a huge celebration for everyone involved. And then we've still got 3 league games. We've still got 5 games potentially left for the rest of the season. So absolutely celebrate it, but back to training on Wednesday.
Training on Wednesday. And are you looking to get promoted then for next season?
Yeah, hopefully. That's the plan. Back up to the championship. So yeah.
Fantastic. All the best. Thank you very much, mate. Diolch yn fawr. Diolch yn fawr, Abby. Diolch I ti.
Yeah, great to hear there from Lloyd Lewis. A quick preview for the next game coming up. Club Rugby Cymru Caerdydd. They're getting set to play against Seven Sisters in the plate final against Seven Sisters. Another big game coming up. That'll be starting at 3 o'clock. Good to see Holly Brown back to her feet and going off the field. Hopefully it's not a bad one, but she looks in some severe discomfort. There's talk here on the field that they will be cutting the game short. 7 minutes left on the clock, so they will be blowing up at 70 minutes. But yeah, it does look a bad one for Holly Brown, who's, like you said, she's been effective today for Taff. Probably one of the star players for Taff if you had to pick someone out.
Yeah, definitely. It's a shame to see her go off, but pleased to see her walking off the field, especially after we hear they were looking to bring a stretcher on. Hopefully now for this last 7 minutes we can see a bit of continuity, because it must be said since the water break it's been quite stop-start. So it'd be nice for both sides to get some good running rugby in them now. And yeah, nice to see Taff get on the board again, I think.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see some free-flowing rugby as we saw in the first half, and as you mentioned, it's been a bit stop-start. I think it's a lot of tired bodies that, you know, tired bodies do lead to more injuries, I guess, especially at this level.
Great scrum from Taff turn the ball over, and hopefully, I'm sure now we'll see a bit more of the upper gut style of play they've been really dominant in.
Yeah, this is the position they need for their style of rugby. Big carry here from almost for Taffswell. Courtney Greenway. Ooh, a big hit on Greenway on this near side. And I thought for a split second that we were going to see a coast to coast there from Courtney Greenway. But it is disappointment for Taffswell as they didn't quite get over the line.
Yeah, it was a great carry, wasn't it? It was just, you know, good defence equally to try and dislodge that ball. And then another great tackle from, I think it was Paige Price, we've seen put some real dominant hits in.
Stolen once again by Taffswell. Carrying here into the contact area. This time, ball in hand, cutting against the grain of the defence.
No hands, it's the rep. 17 high, penalty advantage. Release.
Another penalty advantage against Senghennydd. And another carry this time. Taffswell, bit of space, breaking through the line, diving for the try line. Lauren Hughes for Taffswell, and she is emotional to say the least. She is delighted to have scored at the Principality. What a score, what a moment for Taff Well, and she is absolutely buzzing to score at the home of Welsh Rugby, and it's a good finish.
It is a good finish. She still had lots to do, and she had to real leg drive and show real determination to get to that line. And I'm really pleased for it. It was really nice actually to see some of the Senghennydd support, some of the Senghennydd players, congratulating her as well after seeing what it means to her.
Well, it is Sarah Grant who scored. I think there's some shirt swapping happening down there for Taff Swell. So Sarah Grant off the bench, taking that 6 jersey. She scores for Taff Swell. A lovely conversion as well by Jade Edwards. But what a moment for Sarah Grant, overjoyed to score at the Principality, and great scenes.
Yeah, and a real well-deserved try for Taff Swell as well. When they've had ball, they have been really dominant going forward when they've been able to keep ball, and that was just a testament to the hard work they've put in this afternoon.
Greenway gets us back underway. And Taff Swell, they want to play. Ball in hand here. Stacey Wright carrying. They've been told to leave it. A bit of a standstill there from both teams as we see Taff Swell take it quickly.
Release! Leave it, Blue, leave it. Went backwards, play on.
Kick over the top by Jade Edwards, and it does bounce over the touchline. And from what I understand, Dyfgu Morgan Howell has selected player of the match. Any guesses?
I mean, I've got a clear guess, and if I'm wrong, I'll have to speak to Dyfgu afterwards.
I mean, it's got to be Courtney Greenway. Just a word on how good she's been.
Yeah, she's been exceptional. I think, we've seen her probably put in the biggest tackles, certainly for Senghennydd in defence, but obviously her try-scoring ability, and here she is on the ball again. She's just been absolutely dangerous every time she's had hands on the ball, and has shown a great range of skill sets this afternoon, and she does really deserve that.
Any others that have stood out?
Yeah, I think Rafiq, obviously, got to mention Rafiq Taylor. She's also scored a hat-trick. Their backs are really dangerous when they've been on the ball. But equally, their forwards have been facilitating in order to get the backs on space. But I think, we have to take your hat off to the Senghennydd backline, because they've really caused some damage every time they've had hands on ball.
I love that you've given the forwards a shout out, because we haven't mentioned them a lot today, but like you said, they've done the hard yards for the backs to have so much space. So credit to the whole Senghennydd side, unbeaten this season so far, and they're hoping to make that step into the next level of domestic rugby in Wales, and they are an accomplished team. They'll probably go well next year as well in the higher divisions.
Yeah, I think so, and I think they've got some real good depth as well. We've seen them take off. We raised an eyebrow, in fact, when they took off, Rian Bowden and Imogen Shide fairly early into this half. But it's just a credit to what they've built as a whole squad. And, we watched before the game about them at the start of the season having to play with only 14 players because they couldn't field a front row. And then prior to this game, they played a 15v15 of an internal game. So they were in such a good position to now continue to challenge for that championship place.
Absolutely. The clock has hit 70, which was the agreed full time on the clock. Senghennydd Sirens are victorious in the bowl final here at the Principality. They are absolutely delighted to have come here and taken the victory. What a win what a story for Senghennydd, and they are victorious this afternoon in the bowl final. 57 points to 14, the final score, and Senghennydd do take the victory. And what a win, it must be said, for Senghennydd. They were outstanding, especially with space in front of them, and you can see both teams showing each other the respect they deserve. But the final score here at the Principality: Taff 14, Senghennydd 57, and Senghennydd do win the bowl final. And it must be said, Senghennydd just too good.
Yeah, they were really dominant, weren't they? Their back line, like we've just previously mentioned, were brilliant in space, and they must be said there's plenty of space out there on that wide field. But credit to Taff as well. I think they really put their stamp on the game as well. When they had ball in hand, they were managing to keep things tight, and they were really dominating those collisions. And I think I'm really pleased for Taff as well that they've managed to have this day. Obviously the result hasn't gone the way they wanted it to, but since Christmas they've had a really tough time, and I think to cap it off with a day in the Principality is brilliant.
Absolutely. A chance here to go to Lloyd.
Yeah, dwi'n ma gyda seren y gêm Courtney Greenway a'r captain buddigol Raffi Taylor. Right, Courtney, first and foremost, congratulations. That was an amazing performance. How do you feel?
Amazing. It's just really good to see the journey that we've come along, and to win in the final is just phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's amazing because I heard you play wing as well. So how is it for you to switch into playing 10? Because it's a very different position, though.
I really enjoy the challenge, like obviously a bit of a game maker, sort of making decisions. So I just really enjoy the switch up from playing wing to being at 10. Brilliant,
well done. And Raffi, I can see you're beaming. It's a silly question, but how are you feeling right now?
This is just fantastic. I dreamt about this day really ever since I come to Senghennydd, and just to be here and experience this and get the win at the end of the day is amazing.
Brilliant. And what makes this team so special?
We're literally a team on and off the field as well. Like, we've got each other's backs regardless of what's going on. Everybody got personal struggles and jobs and stuff like that, and we're all behind each other every step of the way.
And right, you've both scored a hat-trick today. That is amazing. You've scored a hat-trick in the International Stadium and convincingly won an amazing final. Where do you go from here?
Just the next challenge now, hopefully being up to the championship, and then I'm facing new challenges and new teams.
And are you looking forward to the championship?
Absolutely, can't wait.
Ladies, enjoy tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy your night, ladies. Thank you.
Yeah, great to hear from Courtney Greenway and Raffi Taylor. They deserve this moment, Senghennydd. They're all making the most of it because... Yeah, great to see them enjoying themselves out there on the field, because they worked so hard. The club's been through some turbulent times with hardly any players involved, and like we spoke about earlier, to go from 8 to about 34, 35 players, it's incredible, and the work that's been done there is something that each club should aspire to be able to do in their communities.
Yeah, definitely, and I think Raf alluded to it there, that bond you have with people off the field has clearly made a difference to get those girls to be coming in and coming back, and to really build a really wide squad. And it's brilliant to see. The emotions are high, everyone's pleased. And yeah, they're really real deserved winners in the end, you know. Taff obviously brought elements of what they're about to the game as well, so they can definitely be proud. And definitely won the battle of the scrum, which was my favourite battle of all. But yeah, Senghennydd were just ruthless in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see the supporters showing their voice as well, showing their support for their teams. And Taff, not their day overall, and it's hard to compete with Senghennydd with the individual talents they have, and as a team and as a collective they are so strong in every department. And Taff were just on the opposite end of a fantastic performance from the Senghennydd team, who are absolutely fired up and ready to go.
Yeah, but I think, you know, we've seen them stay in the fight to the end, Taff well, and you know that's a credit to them and the character they have as a group. And Senghennydd, obviously, hopefully hoping to go up to the championship now and compete with different teams, and I'm sure we'll see them go from success to success as well.
Yeah, Taff well taking their runners-up medals at the moment, and Senghennydd are poised, ready to celebrate and receive their winning medals this afternoon. And 57 points in the end it was to Senghennydd. 2 hat-tricks, Holly Dempsey with a brace, as well as Kaylee Smith getting a try of her own. And Taff well, they'll be disappointed, but as mentioned, the occasion itself is what it's all about.
Yeah, their journey over the last couple of months has been, you know, for them to turn up here today, real fight for that, well, every single point that they had to fight for, is a real credit to them and how they've obviously got a very well gelled group as well, after being through so much, and it's nice to see them now applauding Senghennydd, who are going up to get their winners' medals.
Yeah, Senghennydd's side are exceptional, and they deserve this victory. An invincible season at the moment, only a couple of games to go in their season. They'll be hoping to finish their league strongly. 3 games to go, but they've pretty much already wrapped up the league. They've got 2 games in hand against Blackwood, who are also in their league, and it looks like they'll go up to the next tier, into the championship, and they'll be hoping to push on from there with their deep squad of 34 plus. It seems they'll be hoping to go from strength to strength over the next few years. And there's the trophy. It's called the bowl. It looks more like a vase than a bowl, it must be said, but it's a big day, and what a moment this is for Senghennydd as they go and grab the trophy. Rafiq Taylor ready to take the trophy. Senghennydd Sirens are the bowl champions. Senghennydd have won the bowl at the Principality. What a victory for Senghennydd RFC. Fully deserved victors today at the Principality, convincingly defeating Taff well. They'll enjoy their night. They'll celebrate late into the night as Senghennydd have taken the victory in emphatic fashion. They are deserved victors. Senghennydd are bowl champions.
Reit, am diwrnod o rygbi yn barod, cofiwch mae 2 gêm arall i ddod heddiw. Rhwng Derfynol y Plat yn cychwyn am 3 o'r gloch, rhwng Clwb Rygbi Cymru Caerdydd a Blaen Dilais. Ac i orffen, rhwng Derfynol y Cwpan, rhwng Bonamain a Porth Tywyn. Reit, buddugoliaeth i Senghennydd yn y Bowlen, ffantastig. Byddwn ni nôl ymhen 1/4 awr gyda'r ail ffeinal o 3 heddiw. Rhwng Derfynol y Plat sydd nesaf, welwn ni chi mewn bach.